How
Yeah.
did you get into Stargate? Can you tell me the story? So
Um, yeah, can you, you might know better than I would which one I did
so
first. Oh,
SG1, you started
no,
off in season 8. You were the pilot of the Prometheus.
that's
So,
right.
and then you moved over to the Odyssey as technically a different named character. So, could have been her twin sister in the Air Force, as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned.
They changed my name. I remember something about this. It was the name of one of the people in production.
Yeah.
Ambrose, is
Cath-Anne
Ambrose?
Ambrose. Yep.
Yeah. And I recall that she had some connection to production. And I guess they used to do that a lot on Stargate. They really like putting names of people who were like my sister-in-law or whatever. And so yeah, I believe they changed my Wambach to
Lieutenant Womack, and then
Womack. Yeah.
in season 9 you were Jennings aboard the Odyssey. So I wanted to
Oh,
check because it's in high definition. So
no, where did Ambrose come in?
there was someone else. The names they were very fluid with them.
They were, weren't they? They
Yeah.
were. Okay. Anyhow, it was Stargate was a huge show in Vancouver. Like it's the number of people that were on it who live here. I mean, it was because it was shot here, and there's so many small to large roles on it. Every episode had like a bunch of people auditioning. So I had read for it, I'm sure, a dozen times or something. I'm guessing I had probably read for it a ton of times. I was a baby actor at the time, so I was really just learning how to transition from doing commercials, which I had started in and doing a lot of commercials, over to trying to do more film and television. And Stargate was one of those ones. It was like, if you get on Stargate, then maybe you end up with a nice little recurring that they'll bring you back over and over and over again. And so I remember being really excited to get on it. If I recall correctly, it was Corinne Clark and Jennifer Page who cast it back in the day, and they've been big supporters since the very beginning of my career in 2001, or a little later. Yeah, and I, even though I think it was like, I want to say it was like a couple of lines or something like that,
Hmm.
I was beside myself. I was so excited to be on the show, beside myself and nervous as hell, and like all of the things, because it's a big machine and you're like this tiny piece in this huge operation, and the stakes are always really high.
You just don't want to get in its way, you
No,
know?
very well put. Very well put. You want to serve your little bit and not get in the way. You want to be noticed, but not stand, or you want to stand out, but not be noticed. Like it's all of those things. I remember there was a sentence. Oh, this haunted me for years. I'm going to see if I can remember it. Um, Missile detonated prior to impact. Target remains intact. I don't know who put impact and intact in the same little beat, but I have a death grudge against that person because it was like I could not, I was so nervous. I could not for the life of me get it right. I just
Oh
kept
man.
flipping them. Intact, impact, impact, intact. To the point that one of the actors around me said something about it, and then I just like went down. I was like, I was out. There was no ring. Take the camera off of me. It was, yeah. The fact that they brought me back was extraordinary because it was, yeah, I was really, really nervous and very, just really intimidated. I mean, you've got a great, like Amanda Tapping standing next to you, just like acting her ass off with such a grace. And yeah, it was wild. It was a long time ago. And I remember Peter DeLuise directed one of
Uh,
them, and he gave me a scratch and win at rap, which was like his thing. It was
yes.
his tradition with actors on, I don't know if every show, but certainly on that show. Yeah.
Yeah, he had his things to connect with people. And the techno babble is claws and fangs. You know,
Mhm.
if you are not willing to try to believe in it, it's not going to want to work, you know, because it's meaningless then. It's truly meaningless. It does mean something, but you have to be proactive in wanting to discover, okay, what is this getting to?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the same goes for medical dialogue. The same goes, I mean, for anything where it's another language. And in fact, in this other star related show that I worked on Star Trek, there's, again, you're speaking a language and referring to things that don't exist in our reality. So if you don't know exactly what every single one of those things are and where they are and how they affect you, there's no way it's going to stick, because your nervous system, your adrenaline kicks in, and then your nervous system takes over, and it's like trying to stay in your body when your head is going, it's just, yeah, you need to be speaking about something you're deeply familiar with.
You have to be grounded in something.
Correct.
You know? It sounds like at least you're a sci-fi fan, so at least there's that, you know, and then you have to worm your way into the dialogue from there. But, you know, at least in that situation, and I want to get to Rillak in a minute here, but at least as a head of state, you know, the technobabble is probably not so bad as flying a starship.
Yeah. Yeah, true. And I also, by this point, have given myself permission to take my time a little bit more and to, you know, take up some space in a way that I hadn't yet learned how to do at that point. Yeah. Also, she was a lot of, not so much outer space talk, but a lot of political talk.
Yeah. Absolutely. No. Yeah, you were it's a mirror on the audience, as all good Star Trek is. What memories do you have of working on Atlantis with Paul McGillion and all those wonderful people? At that point, you know, you had, I'm sure, been a little bit more comfortable working with such a large machine. And I think that episode was a location episode, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Half of it was. Yeah. We were out in the GVRD, which is the Greater Vancouver Regional District. It's like going out into the hills of the North Shore. The things that stand out from that, besides Mr. Paul McGillion, who is one of my favorite humans, and he and I were lucky enough to spend a couple of years working together as husband and wife on Firefly Lane, which was like, finally, we got to work together for real. Yeah. But besides that, working with Jewel State, I remember really enjoying Jewel, and both her ability and her humor and just her easy way at work. And Jason Momoa, we also had some things together.
Thanks for watching this clip from Dial the Gate. You can find the full live stream shows on our YouTube channel or visit dialthegate.com for the complete schedule. See you on the other side.